With the month of the season officially over, it's time for me to share 6 players who I think you should buy low on, starting off with Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays, who has been a little underwhelming up to this point. Vlad is currently hitting for a .272 batting average with 2 homers and 12 RBIs through 28 games. These numbers are not poor by any means, but they also haven't lived up to the lofty expectations that Guerrero entered the season with. This presents a strong buy low opportunity as the underlying process stats show that Vlad's surface numbers should be better than what they currently are. Carrying a .389 expected WOBA and a .311 expected batting average, Vlad is still one of the very best hitters in the game today. His average exit velocity and hard hit percentages are still aligned with career norms, and I would be expecting Vlad's numbers to begin to increase sooner rather than later. This is an elite hitter who should hit for elite power and average without hurting you in any one area. Take advantage and buy low on Vlad while you still can. Next up on the buy low list may be my favorite of the group, and that's Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. Olson is hitting just .222 to start the year, and that's paired with just 4 homers, which is low by his standards at this time of the season. However, similarly to Guerrero, Olson's underlying numbers paint a different picture compared to what his surface stats show. Olson has actually been crushing the ball through the first month with an average exit velocity and hard hit percentage both in the top 5% of the league. His walk rate has also been elite at 18%, signaling that he's seeing the ball well and his play discipline has remained intact. What might be the most impressive stat is that Olson has massively cut his strikeout rate early on at 18% compared to 25% in 2024. While I highly doubt his K rate remains that low, any season-long improvement would majorly increase his batting average potential in a loaded lineup. It's only a matter of time before Olson finally takes off. Moving on to the first pitcher that I think is a great buy low candidate at the moment, and that's another Atlanta Brave in Chris Sale. The 2025 campaign has definitely not begun the way that Sale anticipated after a remarkable resurgence in 2024. A 5.40 ERA and a 1.59 WHIP does not represent a strong start, but what it does represent is an awesome buy low player, especially when we're talking about Chris Sale. To me, Sale isn't showing any major warning signs. The fastball velocity has stayed constant, and the strikeout rate has done the same as well. The overall stuff is still very strong, and I think just a handful of mistakes have really cost Sale in many of his starts. I certainly wouldn't expect Sale to come even remotely close to his 2024 stats, but he doesn't have to in order to be a great value in a buy low trade. He still pitches on a team with a dynamic offense, and there should be no workload concerns at any point this year for him. I'm very confident that Sale turns around his putrid start and begins looking more like the guy we saw of all last year. That takes me now to one of the more polarizing talents to begin the year, and that's none other than Mike Trout. Calling Trout a buy low has a weird sound to it, but it's a reality since he's been performing better than what basic stats would tell you. A 170 batting average is not at all what you want to see from Trout, but the power has still been there early on, with 9 having gone over the fence. While the power has been big, the ultra-low average, in my opinion, still presents the ability to buy low on him from certain managers. Sure, Trout may no longer be the 300 hitter that he once was, maybe not even a 270 or 280 guy, but he has some major positive regression in that aspect coming his way real soon. The average has significantly been dragged down by an unrealistic 136 batting average on balls in play when that number typically sits at a full 200 points higher for him. His expected batting average sits at .252 currently, and that's more so what I'd expect from him going forward. Bryce Miller, starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, is my next buy low player to target. Things have not been ideal for Miller early on as he carries a 4.21 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP with right around a strikeout per inning. These numbers are a far cry from his breakout campaign last year that many expected to carry over to this season. I'm here to tell you that things will get better for Miller, and it's likely that it comes rather quickly. Now, I'm not here to tell you that his underlying stats are all fancy or that he's gotten significantly unlucky, because he hasn't, but I trust what Miller offers, and it's as simple as that. Nothing early on in his profile tells me that he's any different from the pitcher he was last year, and that guy was a pretty good one. He still pitches in arguably the most pitcher-friendly park in the sport, and he also has a strong defense behind him. Unlike many others on this list, this buy low pick is more of a gut feeling, but that feeling is certainly a strong one for me. And that takes us now to the final player on my buy low list after the first month of the season, and we go to the Washington Nationals where we find Dylan Cruz. Cruz has been terrible to start off 2025, don't get me wrong, but his 0 for 20 start to the year played a part in altering his current numbers. In the past couple of weeks though, Cruz has been much better, but his numbers still remain at an underwhelming .229 batting average with 4 homers and just 6 RBIs. It's important to remember that Cruz is in his first full season right now, and many ups and downs are likely to come along the way. He's a player with a sky-high upside for fantasy with his power and speed prowess that could reach 25-25 as soon as this year. If you could get him from a frustrated manager for 75 cents on the dollar, then that's something I would take advantage of immediately. At the very least, he carries a relatively safe floor, but also offers league-winning upside as well. And that concludes my 6 players to buy low on after the first month of the MLB season. Let me know in the comments what you agree or disagree with and who you think are strong buy lows at the moment. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.